I could feel the weight of its melancholy in the air.
Well, what do you want? Spit it out. What's the latest update on the case? Oh, come on now, Detective Martini. Don't play coy with me. The murder cases, of course. The ones that have been plaguing our city for the past few weeks. I thought you were here to help solve them. So, any progress? No progress at all. That's quite disappointing, I must say. We can't let these murderers roam free in Vaudeville. Have you followed up on all the leads? Have you spoken to witnesses, checked surveillance footage, anything? We need to find some answers, Detective. Leads, my dear detective, are the bread and butter of an investigation. They're the threads we follow to unravel the truth. Did you talk to Maria Jansen's neighbors? Did you check if anyone saw Nicola Grossman near Pascalis Groceries? And Haley Greenwood's colleagues at the club, have they provided any information? We can't just sit around waiting for clues to fall into our laps, you know. We have to actively pursue them.
Oh, Detective. How delightful to see you here. I must admit, I'm feeling rather down today. You see, I recently discovered a small wrinkle on my forehead that simply won't disappear no matter what creams or potions I try. It's terribly vexing, I tell you. But enough about my trivial concerns. Do tell me, what brings you to Pascalis today? Oh, shifty characters, you say. Well, I can't say I've noticed anyone particularly suspicious around these parts. But between you and me, Detective, one can't help but wonder what secrets and intrigues may be hiding beneath the polished facades of our dear Vaudeville. It's a city of mystery, after all. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really should get back to picking out some fresh mushrooms for tonight's dinner. Ta-ta. Lovely to meet you too, Detective Martini. I appreciate your kind words about my appearance. It's just that sometimes, even the smallest imperfections can weigh heavily on one's mind. You know, but I mustn't dwell on such trivial matters. There are far more important things to focus on in this world. Wouldn't you agree? Well, Detective, if you insist that there are more pressing matters, I won't argue. But I do hope you'll indulge me in a bit of mischief every now and then. Life can be dreadfully dull without a dash of excitement, don't you think? But what am I saying? You have your investigations to attend to. I'll leave you to your duties. Until we cross paths again, farewell.
Well, the evidence suggests that the murders were committed in different ways. It seems that Nicola Grossman was stabbed in the back of the neck with a butcher's knife, while Maria Jansen suffered a brutal attack that resembled an animal attack. And Haley Greenwood, poor girl, was repeatedly struck on the head with a blunt object, possibly a stiletto shoe based on the fragments found on her body. The modus operandi is quite different in each case, but I can't shake the feeling that they're somehow connected. Yes, let me clarify. Nicola Grossman, a prominent figure in the finance world, met a rather unfortunate end. Maria Jansen, a young woman with a Scandinavian look, was found in a gruesome state. Yes, of course. Maria Jansen was a 23-year-old blonde with a distinctively Nordic appearance. Haley Greenwood, the young dancer, met a tragic fate. She was only 19 years old. It appears that she was repeatedly struck in the head with a blunt object, possibly a stiletto shoe based on the fragments we found on her body. Such a violent act, it's truly disheartening. Oh, poor poor dear Haley Greenwood, a 19-year-old vibrant soul, was taken from us too soon. Her career as a dancer had just begun to blossom. It's a tragedy that she suffered such a brutal end. The repeated blows to her head with a blunt object, potentially a stiletto shoe, caused severe trauma. The impact must have been devastating. It breaks my heart to think of the pain she must have endured. Of course, anything in particular you'd like to know, Detective? Nicola Grossman, a 57-year-old gentleman, was well established in the financial sector. His body was discovered in the morning outside Pascala's grocery store. The wound on the back of his neck, inflicted by a butcher's knife, proved fatal. A gruesome sight, indeed. It's always a challenge, isn't it? Trying to piece together the puzzle of these murders. Each victim, a life extinguished in such a brutal manner. As a coroner, I often find myself contemplating the fragility of existence. The human body, a marvelously complex machine, vulnerable to the whims of fate. It's moments like these that remind me how precious life truly is. We can only hope to bring justice and closure to those affected by these tragedies. Before you go, Detective, I want to impress upon you the importance of thorough investigation. Remember, the evidence holds the key to unraveling the truth. Take your time, analyze every detail, and don't overlook any potential leads. It's like dissecting a cadaver, peeling back the layers to reveal the hidden secrets within. Trust your instincts, but also rely on the cold, hard facts. And if you ever need my expertise again, don't hesitate to seek me out. Stay sharp, Detective, and may your pursuit of justice be unwavering. Farewell, dear Detective. As you delve into the depths of this case, remember to tread carefully amidst the shadows of uncertainty. Investigating these murders is like navigating through the complex network of blood vessels, searching for the source of infection.
Oh dear, I must apologize for my melancholy mood. It seems that the world has conspired to dampen my spirits today. But fear not, for I shall not succumb to sadness. Life is too short to dwell on such trivial matters. Let us focus on more delightful pursuits, shall we? Detective Martini, you always seem to have the most fascinating topics of conversation. But I'm afraid I don't know anyone by the name of Nicola Grossman. You see, my dearest, my interests lie within the confines of Vaudeville. The outside world is but a mere whisper in my ear, a distant hum that I choose not to entertain. Now, do tell me, have you tried the new tea blend at Madame Leclerc's? It's positively divine. Oh, do give it a try, my dear. It's quite delightful to indulge in finer things in life, is it not? The aroma of the teas, the delicate flavors dancing on your tongue. It's a small pleasure that can bring such joy amidst the dreariness of the everyday. And who knows, perhaps you'll discover a newfound passion for the art of tea tasting. One can never have too many hobbies, can they? Vince, you say? I must admit, my attention is often occupied with more pleasurable matters. But I have heard whispers of some unfortunate incidents occurring in our beloved Vaudeville. Tragic, isn't it? A stain on the elegance and sophistication of our city. But worry not, my dear, for we mustn't let these dark clouds overshadow our lives. Let us hold our heads high and revel in the beauty that surrounds us. After all, isn't that what Vaudeville is known for? Maria Johnson, you say? Yes, I am familiar with her. Such a shame what happened to her. But let's not dwell on the misfortunes of others, shall we? Life is far too short to be consumed by such gloom. Besides, there are far more interesting things to discuss. Don't you agree? Perhaps we could talk about the latest fashion trends or the exquisite delicacies at Le Petit Café. Now that is a topic worthy of one's time, wouldn't you agree? My dear, how you persist with this case. But alas, my knowledge of the outside world is as limited as my late husband's patience for my adventurous spirit. You see, my world revolves solely around Vaudeville, its charm, and its secrets. The outside world holds little interest for me. Perhaps you should consult with those more familiar with such matters. I'm certain there are those in Vaudeville who would be more than happy to aid you in your endeavors. But do tell me, detective, have you heard the latest gossip? The Count Gravessin and his investors are said to be working on a top-secret project. One can only imagine the intrigue that lies behind those closed doors. Oh, life has its ups and downs, doesn't it? But I find that a little mischief can lighten even the darkest of days. One mustn't let sadness bring down the spirit, don't you agree? Now, tell me, have you ever been on a spontaneous adventure? Ah, how delightful. Spontaneous adventures are the essence of living, aren't they? It's a shame my late husband Victor never quite appreciated such endeavors. He was always so concerned with appearances and propriety. But now, with my newfound freedom, I can finally indulge in the thrill of the unknown. Who knows what exciting escapades await me? Perhaps I'll discover hidden treasure.
Detective Martini, a pleasure to meet you. Murders, you say? How dreadful. Pray, do tell me more about these unfortunate incidents. Oh my, how intriguing. 3 victims, you say? That is indeed quite distressing. I must admit, I am rather curious about the details. What can you share with me, detective? Stabbed in the back of the neck, you say? How gruesome. And outside Pascal's groceries, of all places. Quite an unexpected location for such a tragic event. Tell me, detective, have you discovered any leads or suspects in this case? No leads or suspects, you say? That does add an air of mystery to the situation. I wonder, have you considered all possible angles? Perhaps there is something hidden beneath the surface that can shed light on these puzzling events. Have you spoken to anyone who might have witnessed the incident, or gathered any other evidence that could lead you in the right direction? Indeed, it is quite fascinating, isn't it? The twists and turns of a mysterious case can be quite captivating. I must admit, Detective Martini, I am rather intrigued by your line of work. Tell me, have you encountered such perplexing cases before? Do you have any theories or speculations about these unfortunate incidents? Mrs. Potter, you say? How interesting. She is a remarkable woman, full of charm and grace. I do hope she provided some valuable insights into these puzzling events. Pray, do tell me, what did she have to say about the matter? Did she witness anything unusual or have any suspicions about the culprit? Please, do share the details with me. Oh, rumors, you say? My dear Detective Martini, rumors can be quite amusing, don't you think? I must confess, I do enjoy a good rumor from time to time. But pray, do enlighten me. What exactly did Mrs. Potter mention about the supposed top-secret project that I and my investors are allegedly working on? I'm curious to know what tales have been circulating around town. Well. It seems the grapevine has been rather quiet about this alleged top-secret project. How peculiar. I would have expected more chatter and wild speculations. But since you brought it up, let me ask you, my good detective, what sort of details or information are people speculating about? I'm genuinely intrigued to hear what imaginative stories have been created surrounding this mysterious endeavor. My, Detective Martini, what an intriguing notion. People connecting my supposed secret project to the murders. Quite a leap of imagination, wouldn't you agree? Pray, do tell me, what exactly is it about this project that has sparked such speculation? I must admit, I'm quite curious to know what creative theories the townsfolk have come up with. Ah, yes, I see what you mean, detective. The element of secrecy does tend to fuel people's imaginations, doesn't it? It's fascinating how a lack of information can lead to all sorts of wild speculations. I suppose Vaudeville is a city full of vibrant stories and vivid imaginations. Tell me, detective, what are some of these imaginative ideas that people have come up with? I'm genuinely fascinated to hear what possibilities they've conjured up. Really now. Nothing more to add. How peculiar. I must say, I was rather hoping for some thrilling tales and fantastical theories. But alas, it seems the rumors have run dry. Well, perhaps there are other avenues we can explore. Perhaps we can delve into the world of art or literature. Or maybe discuss the latest developments in the world of golf. Do tell, my good detective, what other topics might pique your interest on this fine day? Solving the murder, you say? Ah, a noble pursuit indeed. I can sense the determination in your voice, Detective Martini. Pray, do share with me any clues or leads you may have uncovered thus far. I am always eager to assist in any way I can. After all, unraveling a mystery is like embarking on a grand adventure, wouldn't you agree? Oh, victims, you ask. I'm afraid I don't have the pleasure of knowing them personally. The names you mentioned earlier, Maria Jensen, Nicola Grossman, and Haley Greenwood, they are not familiar to me. How unfortunate that such tragic events have taken place. I can only hope that justice will be served and the truth will come to light. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss, my dear detective? Wasting my time? Not at all, Detective Martini. I assure you, our conversation has been far from a waste of time. It has been an absolute pleasure to engage in this intriguing discussion with you. If there's ever any more information or topics you'd like to explore, please do not hesitate to reach out. Until then, I bid you a good day and happy sleuthing.
Count's top secret project. What in the world are you talking about? We're here to solve murders, not delve into some fancy nobleman's secret projects. Stick to the matter at hand, detective. Oh, does she now? And who exactly is this Mrs. Potter? Some sort of informant. Fine, tell me what she thinks is relevant and I'll humor you. But mark my words, if this turns out to be another wild goose chase, there will be consequences. I've had enough of these distractions. Now, what does this Mrs. Potter have to say about the Count's project? Well, I've been doing my job, detective, trying to solve these gruesome murders and bring justice to the victims. But I must admit, it's been a challenging case. The evidence is scarce, and every lead seems to bring us closer to a dead end. So, forgive me if I seem a bit on edge. But I assure you, I'm doing everything in my power to crack this case wide open. New evidence. Ha, if only it were that easy, detective. We're still sifting through the same old clues, trying to make sense of this mess. But I suppose you're here to ask about progress, aren't you? Well, I hate to disappoint you, but we haven't made any major breakthroughs just yet. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. But don't worry, I won't give up. We'll get to the bottom of this, one way or another. Yes, is there something specific?
Maria Jansen, Nicola Grossman, and Haley Greenwood were the victims. I didn't know any of them personally. Nothing strange happens around here, my dear detective. We're just a circus, entertaining the masses with our wild beasts and daring acts. Nothing more, nothing less. Oh, how astute of you, detective. Bravo. Yeah, the eloquence of your words is truly captivating. How fortunate I am to be graced with your presence.
Oh, hello. Is there something you need? The murders. Yes, I've heard about them. It's such a terrible thing to happen in our lovely Vaudeville. But I must admit, I don't know much about the details. Where did they take place? Nicola Grossman was found at Pascal Groceries. That's quite unexpected. How did that happen? Do you have any idea why someone would want to harm Nicola? Stabbed in the back of the neck. Goodness, that sounds absolutely horrifying. I can't imagine why anyone would want to do something so brutal to poor Nicola. Did she have any enemies that you know of? That's surprising. It's hard to believe that someone could be targeted like that without having any known enemies. I wonder if there's something more to this case that we don't yet understand. Have there been any leads or suspects in the investigation? The Count Gravesen. That's quite a shocking accusation. Are you suggesting that he might be involved in these murders? What makes you think he's acting shifty? Do you have any specific reasons or evidence to support your suspicions? A top-secret project. How intriguing. I had no idea the Count Gravesen was working on something like that. It certainly piques my curiosity. But how does this project connect to the murders? Did Mrs. Potter mention anything else that could link them together? I'm curious to know more about this mysterious project and its potential involvement in these tragic events. Oh, really? That's quite suspicious indeed. It's unusual for someone to be so evasive when asked about their own projects. I wonder what could be so secretive about it. Perhaps there's more to this story than meets the eye. Have you tried talking to anyone else who might have information about this project or its connection to the murders? He told you to shut up. Well, that's rather rude of him, isn't it? It's strange that he would react that way instead of providing some kind of explanation or reassurance. It makes me even more curious about this whole situation. Do you think there's something they're trying to hide? Involved, Chief Gradesky. That's quite a shocking thought. I can't imagine someone in such a position of authority being connected to these murders. But then again, Vaudeville is known for its unexpected twists and turns. If there's something suspicious going on, perhaps it's worth investigating further. Have you noticed anything else that could suggest Chief Gradesky's involvement? Really, absolutely nothing. It's all so perplexing. I can't help but feel like there's more to this story than we know. Perhaps there are hidden motives and secrets at play. We must keep digging for answers, even if it means facing some uncomfortable truths. I will rest until we find out who's behind these terrible acts and bring them to justice. Oh, Count Revizin. Yes, he frequents this place quite often. He's one of those charming individuals who enjoys socializing and being part of Vaudeville's high society. You can often find him mingling with others, attending events, and discussing his various endeavors. Why do you ask? Is there something specific you're curious about regarding his presence here? Suspicious or out of character? That's an interesting question. I haven't personally witnessed anything suspicious from the Count, but then again, people can be good at hiding their true intentions. It's possible that he may be acting differently behind closed doors or in certain situations. Do you suspect that he has been behaving oddly lately? You do? How intriguing. It's fascinating how our instincts can sometimes pick up on subtle cues or changes in behavior, even without concrete evidence. If you don't mind me asking, what specifically has made you feel that way about the Count? Has he been avoiding certain topics or displaying any unusual behaviors that caught your attention? Ah, I see. So it was his avoidance in discussing his project that made you suspect something may be amiss. It certainly adds another layer of mystery to the situation. I wonder why the Count would be so secretive about it. Do you think there could be a connection between his project and the recent murders? It's definitely worth exploring further. Perhaps there are others who have noticed his evasiveness as well. Of course, feel free to ask around and gather more information. If there's anything else that comes up or any new leads, please do let me know. I'm always eager to uncover the truth and bring justice to those who deserve it. Good luck with your investigation, and don't hesitate to reach out if you need any more assistance.
Well, hello there. What brings you to my dressing room today? Are you here to admire my fabulous costumes, or perhaps to discuss the art of burlesque? Oh, the murders. How intriguing. Tell me, Detective Martini, what is it that you want to know about them? Are you trying to solve the mystery behind these unfortunate incidents? Close to the victims. Oh, dear detective, I must admit that I didn't have a personal connection with any of them. But it's such a tragedy, isn't it? I can't help but wonder who could be responsible for such heinous acts. Do you have any leads, detective? The Count. How fascinating. Pray tell, Detective Martini, what is your interest in the Count? Is he somehow involved in these dreadful crimes? Or do you suspect him of having some hidden secrets? The Count is quite a mysterious figure, isn't he? The top secret project, you say? That sounds positively intriguing. I must admit, I am curious about what it could be. Do you have any clues or leads about this project, detective? It seems like the Count is keeping it tightly under wraps. But who can blame him? Secrets have a way of adding a touch of mystique to a person's allure. Oh, well, that's quite alright, Detective Martini. Sometimes investigations can be quite challenging, but that's what makes them so thrilling. isn't it? Perhaps we can shift our focus to something more delightful. Have you ever seen my burlesque performance? People come from every corner of Europe to see it. It's quite the spectacle, if I do say so myself. Thank you for your kind words. But imagine, you must experience it for yourself, detective. It's not something that can be easily described with words. The music, the costumes, the playful teasing. It's like stepping into another world, full of glamour and excitement. If you haven't had the pleasure of witnessing it yet, perhaps you should come to one of my shows sometime. You won't be disappointed, I assure you. That's wonderful to hear, Detective Martini. I'm thrilled that you're interested in attending one of my performances. It's always a delight to have new faces in the audience. Do let me know when you plan to come, and I'll make sure you have the best seat in the house. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss, or any other questions you have for me? Interactions with the Count. Well, let me think. Yes, I did see Count Gravison at one of my recent shows. He was in the front row, watching intently. It's not uncommon for prominent figures to attend our performances, you see. But beyond that, I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with him personally. The Count does seem to be quite an enigmatic figure, doesn't he? But that only adds to his allure, don't you think? My apologies if I gave the wrong impression, Detective Martini. I meant to say that I saw the Count at one of my most recent shows, but it wasn't the first time. I've had the privilege of performing in his presence on a few occasions. Each time, he seems captivated by the artistry and elegance of burlesque. It's always a joy to have such a distinguished guest in the audience. Is there anything specific you would like to know about my interactions with the Count? Strange. Now that you mention it, there was something a bit peculiar about the Count's demeanor at the last show. He appeared rather preoccupied, as if his mind was elsewhere. I couldn't help but wonder what could be occupying his thoughts so intensely. It's not something I can put my finger on, but it did strike me as unusual. Do you suspect there might be something more to it, Detective? You do? Well, now you've piqued my curiosity, Detective Martini. What leads you to believe that there may be something more to the Count's behavior? Is there any specific incident or observation that caught your attention? Please, do share. I'm quite intrigued to hear your insights. Oh, I see. How interesting. The Count being evasive during questioning and appearing preoccupied when he's usually focused does sound rather suspicious. It seems like there might be more to this secretive project of his than meets the eye. I wonder what could be causing such a change in his demeanor. Perhaps there's something important that he's trying to hide or protect. Do you have any theories, Detective? I'm eager to unravel this mystery alongside you. That sounds like a plan, Detective Martini. I'm glad to hear that you're not giving up on getting to the bottom of this. I must admit, I'm quite curious to know what the Count's secret is and how it ties into these recent events. If you do get the chance to question him again, please do share with me what you discover. I'm always up for a good intrigue. Good luck, Detective Martini, and remember, I'm here if you need anything else.
Marina, you say. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with her. Is she someone from Vaudeville? A fellow resident of our lovely city. How delightful. Pray, tell me more about this mysterious Marina. What is she known for in Vaudeville? Burlesque shows, you say. Oh, how intriguing. I must admit, I've always been interested in the performing arts. Tell me, what makes Marina's burlesque show so captivating? Oh, how fascinating. Playful teasing and music, you say. That sounds like quite an entertaining combination. I do enjoy a good performance myself. Do you happen to have any recommendations for me to experience one of these marvelous burlesque shows? My dear friend, it seems there has been some confusion. I'm afraid I haven't had the pleasure of witnessing this enchanting performer's show just yet. However, I must admit that I am intrigued. Tell me, what makes you think I have seen her perform? Oh, how delightful. So, Marina mentioned me, did she? I'm curious to know what exactly she said. Pray, do share the details with me. Well, isn't that interesting? It seems dear Marina has quite the imagination, while I must confess that I haven't had the pleasure of attending her shows in person. It's quite amusing to hear what stories have been woven about me. I do wonder what else Miss Marina has shared about our supposed encounters. Do tell me more. Preoccupied, you say? How intriguing. It's fascinating how people can perceive things differently. I assure you, I have not had the privilege of witnessing any of Marina's performances, let alone being preoccupied during one. I'm rather curious, though. What gave the impression that something was on my mind? Focused on the show, am I? Well, I must admit, I do have a penchant for captivating performances. But how interesting that this time I seemed otherwise occupied. Pray, do tell me, what was it that caught your attention? Was there something particularly captivating happening that drew me away from my usual focus? Quite the mystery indeed. It seems we have stumbled upon an enigma surrounding my supposed distraction during the performance. How intriguing. I do wonder what could have possibly diverted my attention from such a mesmerizing spectacle. Perhaps there is more to this story than meets the eye. Tell me, my dear interlocutor, what other tales or rumors have you heard about me? Attended a burlesque show, you say? Yeah, my friend, I must confess that I haven't had the pleasure of experiencing one firsthand. However, I am always open to new experiences.
Oh, Detective Martini, how thrilling. You spoke to Count Bravesen. What did he have to say? Was he intrigued by our burlesque show? Oh, really, the Count has never experienced the joy and excitement of a burlesque performance. How intriguing. I must admit, it's hard to imagine someone who hasn't witnessed the magic of the stage. Perhaps we can entice him to come and see one of my shows. I'm sure once he experiences the allure and artistry, he won't be able to resist. Don't you agree, Detective? Did I say that? I apologize if I misspoke, Detective. It's possible that I may have confused the Count with another distinguished guest. There are so many faces in the crowd, it can be quite a whirlwind. Nevertheless, I'm always thrilled to have new audience members experience the wonders of our performances. Who knows, maybe the Count will decide to join us one day. The more, the merrier. Leads. Well, Detective Martini, I'm not exactly sure what you're investigating. But if you're looking for something exciting and intriguing, perhaps you could delve into the world of circus performers. You see, I occasionally tour with the Circus Saksabar, and there's a whole cast of fascinating characters there. Monsieur Saksabar himself is rumored to have some mysterious secrets. Maybe you could uncover something interesting there. Just a thought, of course. You're welcome, Detective.
Oh, secrets. My dear detective. But of course, doesn't everyone? Well, are you full of assumptions? But I must disappoint you, my good detective. I have no knowledge of any murders, nor am I linked to any such unfortunate events. My focus is solely on the grandeur of the circus and the art of taming. No, I do not know the locations of the murders. I have no knowledge of this Grossman person or the details of their demise. And yet, my dear detective, your words hold no significance to me. Because, my good detective, I have no interest in answering your questions. Put me on the suspect list. Ah, good luck with that, my dear detective. Do as you please, but it won't change the fact that you're barking up the wrong tree. My good detective. Take it as you will, my dear detective.
Let's see what you got. Detective Martini? Are you sure, Detective Martini? And why? Interesting choice, Detective Martini. May I ask you why? Are you sure, Detective Martini? And why? Detective Martini, this is complete nonsense.